Hey guys, Justin Duval, Travel Camp Orange Park. A couple things I'm going to walk you through. Up front, you got your towing, you got your LP and your battery. I'm going to show you how to get water into your coach, heating water, also your dump procedures, your refrigerator, your furnace, all that good stuff I'll be showing you in the walkthrough. We're going to get started up front. First thing you need to know, 2 5/16 ball. This is your coupler here. The ball goes in. This is in the lock position. You can put a lock or a pin or something right here. So that's your coupler. Next thing you need to know, you got 2 safety chains here. Okay, state of Florida, if they come, actually, they're gonna be this way. When they attach to your vehicle, they need to cross and attach like so. 3 points of contact. Each safety chain is 1, so 1 and 2. And then you're also going to have a breakaway. Now right here you're going to need to put like a hitchhiking clip or a carabiner. This will have its own attachment to the vehicle, so 1, 2, and 3. Now what this safety cable does, if all this fails, the trailer comes off the ball, the safety chains break away, this will have its own attachment, and this will snatch out of this electrical box right here, and then this will engage the electric brake so that the trailer comes to a slow stop. So that's really it for towing. There's hitching and stuff, and we can get into that if you call up here. We can kind of walk you through that. Next thing we need to talk about is your electric tongue jack. They give you a light right here. This isn't going to give you too much light. It's just more or less to help you find center at nighttime. Then they give you an up and a down. Now up is to lift, down is to retract the jack. This is going to help you get on and off the trailer. This is also going to help you level your coach when you get to your campsite. So lifting it up would go onto the ball of the vehicle, and then same thing. When you lower it, then you can tow it, lift it to get the ball off, and then you can pull away. When you're leveling it up and down the best you can, 4-foot level is probably the best thing you can get for that. And then on each corner you got these stabilizer jacks. These stabilizer jacks are just to stabilize. It's not to lift or to level the coach side to side. You're just meant to kind of touch the ground and stop the coach from rocking around side to side. Over here, inside here you have your LP. Now I'll be saying LP, but this is just know that it's propane. You have your on-off. Counterclockwise is open. Clockwise is to close. Your regulator is kind of back here in the back of the bin. So this will be your propane regulator into the coach. Now this is a DOT propane tank, so don't go to the corner stores and get your blue rhinos or anything like that. You're just going to want to refill this so that it's approved to be on our interstates. This is going to feed your furnace, your cooktops, your refrigerators, your water heaters. So this is going to be used as much as you use it. That's the first question I get, is how long will it last? Just as long as you use it. So just try to get them refilled. Back here you have a 12-volt battery. This is a deep cycle battery, so they're meant to run all the way to the bottom and then be charged all the way back to the top. They are serviceable. There's 2 caps. You'll see one here and one here. You can put on some safety glasses. You can pop those caps open and refill them with like distilled water in an acid mix. There are pre-mixes out there just to get it right, but they are serviceable. All of your lights and everything are going to run through the battery until you plug it in. Now when you plug it in, you have a short cord that's going to be 30 amps. As soon as you plug it in, you're going to take the load off the battery. It's going to supply the coach with your 12 volt and then send a charge to the battery. Now the only way that can happen is if you have this brake controller in the on position, or the battery disconnect. You're doing just that with this switch. You're just taking the battery out of the loop. So if it's in the off position, you've disconnected the battery and it won't take charge until you put it in the on position, and then it'll take a charge and you'll have lights and all that inside. So only time you really need to use this is when you're going to store the coach for a long amount of time and you don't want any draw on the battery. Okay, so next thing we need to talk about is getting water into the coach. 2 ways of doing that. If you're going to be out in the middle of a field, or kind of what they call off-grid, essentially you're just out in the middle of a field, you can stick a hose in here, turn the hose on. You're going to be filling a tank, and then you'll take the tank of water that's already in the camper out to the field, turn on a water pump, and that'll bring it up to all your faucets, showers, toilets, anything inside. Or you have the easier way of doing things. If a water hose is available, you just put the hose in here, turn on the hose, and then any water will be same thing, available at all your showers, toilets, and faucets. Down below, a couple things you need to know. There's this white cap over here. This is going to be your freshwater. This right here is going to be your freshwater drain. So let's say you fill that tank all the way up and you only use half of it. You're going to want to drain all that water so that it doesn't kind of rot or get that egg smell in it. So go ahead and just pull this cap and let it kind of drain as you are on your way back home from your camping trip. These here are your low point drains. This is mainly just used when you're going to winterize. You can just open these and drain all the plumbing inside of the coach. When I say that, I mean all the plumbing or all the supply lines to the sinks and faucets and so on and so forth. So really this is just for winterize. Okay, so now that we've gotten water into the coach via a tank and a water pump or just a straight shot feed, kind of set it and forget it, now you're going to have to heat the water. Now when you do that, there's two ways of doing it. You can do it with an electric element, which is going to be on this switch here, this on-off switch down here. So this is where you're going to do all your electric heating or through an electric element, or you can go with propane. The difference in the two, electric is going to take 40 minutes to get all your hot water, somewhere 30-40 minutes. Propane is going to be about 15 minutes. You're essentially just boiling water with an open flame. So the electric switch, things you need to know, the electric switch is here on the outside, and there's a switch that says water heater on the inside of the unit, and that's going to be for the propane. So electric here, propane inside. When you hit that when you hit the switch inside, you're going to initiate the process of the propane. Propane will come in here to the gas valve into a burn chamber and then be ignited through a spark with this red wire here. You don't need to come out here with a grill lighter or anything. It's going to do its own thing. Sometimes you'll have air in the line and it's not going to light. The water heater is going to give you 3 tries to light the propane. If it doesn't light, it faults. It goes into a fault mode saying, hey, I didn't light, something's wrong. You just turn the switch off and on, and then eventually you'll start pulling propane through the line and have ignition. If you need to reset this, let's say you've done that 5 times, there's an obvious issue, something's not happening, you can come out here to this reset where it says push to reset. On the left side is your electric element reset. Hold it for 3 seconds and it'll reset the electric relay. Or you can hold it over here 3 seconds and then that'll reset the propane side of things, and then you'll have your ignition after that. Anodes are down here. This is kind of like a drain, but it also has an anode to it. An anode is just a weaker metal than what the tank is made of. It's going to let all the water and calcium in the water, iron, attack the weaker metal than the tank. This needs to be changed out every 1.5 to 2 years. Okay, over here, 30 amp service. If you're going to have it at your house, go ahead and get a 30 amp service installed. Don't convert this cord down to like a regular wall outlet. It's not going to work. You're going to run into a lot of energy issues or power issues. So if you're going to keep it at your house, mother-in-law's suite or something like that, get a 30 amp service installed at your house. Okay, spray port, kind of like an outside shower or washing the dog off or whatever you're doing with that. Black tank flush. Black tank is going to be for essentially the crapper. Okay, so this is where you're going to clean out that tank if you've acquired a funky smell or you have a false reading on your tanks. We'll get into false readings a little later. If you've acquired one of those, this is where this is a straight shot to the black tank so that you can flush it out, clean it to get rid of smells or a false reading. Now, since we're talking about this, we'll get into dumping, which is actually going to be down here. You have your 3-inch pipe here. You're going to unscrew this black pipe and then hook up a hose, and that it's going to go into the ground via septic tank or drain field, whatever you're using. You would hook that up here. Then over here you have your black and gray dump valves. Okay, so the right way to do this, like I said, hook up your hose, and then you're going to pull the black one first. The black one, like I said, is the crapper. Pull that, let all your feces run out of the hose, and then you're going to use the gray one to kind of flush or rinse the hose out. That's where this comes into play. You don't have to flush every time, but like I said, if you've acquired a smell or something like that, you just hook up the hose here, let it run into the tank, just continue to pull that black valve, let it fill, pull the black valve, let it flush, close it, let it fill, and just repeat the process until you've gotten rid of the smell. Okay. Lug nuts, in case it ever did happen, you have a blowout. Lug nuts, 110 to 115 foot-pounds. This green knob here lets you know that you have nitrogen in your tires. There's controversy if you should fill with air over with the nitrogen. If you have a flat tire, just fill it with air. It's going to be perfectly fine. Okay. Roof access ladder. Max rating on these are 250. I'm 250. I run up and down them all day, so you should be fine. Okay. You have vents. These vents, since you have a toy hauler, you can open these vents to push air into the coach, and then open this one back and allow air to be sucked out so that you're ventilating air and not kind of holding on to those gas fumes. Okay. You have your deck lights up top. This deck just folds all the way down. You can put this all the way to the ground and load up four-wheelers, golf carts, whatever you're doing. Or there's two silver cables you'll see hanging on this side and this side. You can attach those to a D-ring. That's going to be here. That's what these bolts are, is the little D-ring. You can hook them on there, and then this will make like a party deck or a platform so you can walk about, and it's got railings and the whole 9 yards. Super simple to install. Okay. Over here you have your awning inside. Should already have this out. So right here you have your awning extend and retract. Right now we're just going to extend it so that we can I can give you some pointers and how-tos, whatnots. Okay. So there's that. Okay, so talking about your awning, it's nice that you already have the black underbelly, so you're not going to show stains or anything like that. So that's already a plus. One thing you need to know is that when it rains, the easiest thing to do is just to roll in the awning. Don't let it collect water. If you did go, let's say, hiking or something for the day, you left it out and it rained, all your water is going to tend to kind of belly right here in the middle of the awning fabric. That's going to start to lead to like stress cracks and stuff like that, and then you start to have a delamp of the awning fabric. So just go ahead and run them in if you think weather's coming through. One thing they have done, if it collects enough water, it'll collapse this arm here, and you can see it makes kind of like a lean-to, so you have runoff of the water. Okay. What I would probably do on this exact floor plan is probably buckle the front one so that you're taking water away from the door, so you're not just walking in kind of mud as you come inside. So probably collapse just the front one and let the water run off that way. Okay. Reefer access or refrigerator access, not too much to see in here. This is probably just for service. Your furnace exhaust is here, so this is going to get hot when it's running. Keep your fingers out of there. Keep the little one's fingers out of there. You have your LP quick connect down here. Now this is a little hard to understand, but I'll walk you through it. Pull off this rubber grommet. In here, you have this bar. You can kind of, I don't know if they can see that or not. There you go. Okay, so see this bar moving back and forth? You're going to move this out of the way, and then you would take this coupler, right? Move it back, put your hose in there and let it lock, and then you're going to have to put this back in line to allow the gas to flow. Okay, you might be hooked up, but if this bar is out to the side, you've turned off the valve and you're not going to get any gas flow, so make sure this comes back in line. Okay, 110 outlets outside, TVs, charging golf carts, whatever you're going to be doing. And then your LED lights are over here on the side, which is nice, so they're not in your neighbor's windows. I think that's it for the outside. Let's move inside. Okay, so we're actually going to start right here. This is kind of your essentials, I should say. Your awning extend and retract, we already kind of went through that. You have your awning lights, which are out here. You want to shoot those real quick? This is just showing you that they work. Okay, so there's those. You have your porch light, which is, I don't know if they can see that or not. So there's your porch light. You got amber, off, and you have your white. Okay, so on the porch light, if you go up you're gonna have your white LED in the middle is off, and then if you go down, you're gonna have the amber porch light. Interior lights, that's pretty much gonna be everything that's right here on the ceiling. Okay, so all your interior lights are there. Your back patio lights are here, which is gonna be on the back like I was showing you earlier. And then you also have a courtesy light, which is on the driver's side where the dump station is at. This is where you can turn this light on and off if you're going to be dumping at nighttime. Okay. TV is right here. Of course, if you're going to do a channel search, you're going to want to do that every time you get to a new campsite so that you get on a new airwave, pick up new channels. Over here is your thermostat. Dometic thermostat. Now this can be tricky because it's all just a little touch is what's going to turn it on and off. So as you go through the thermostat, right now we're in the off position. Okay. And then if you touch it one time, you have all your fan settings. You have auto, high, and low. Me personally, I just leave it on auto. And then you go into your cool setting, which is going to be AC. Or you go into your furnace, and then you can set the desired temperature on all those. Another thing you need to know too, if you touch both of these up and down arrows at the same time, you'll go into Celsius. No big deal, just hit them both at the same time and you go back to Fahrenheit. Okay. Down here, carbon monoxide LP detector. Just going to be sniffing for any gas leaks. It'll start screaming at you if it detects anything. Also, if it goes below 9 volts, it'll start screaming at you. It's just saying that you don't have enough battery power for it to protect you with the carbon monoxide. Your furnace is down here. You don't have any vents throughout the coach. This is the one spot that all your furnace, all your heat is going to come out of. So this is essentially your heat source here. Next thing is the refrigerator. Big thing you need to know about. Can you get in here, Joe? Okay, so big thing you need to know about here. You have an on-off button. And then you have another button here that is going to select between auto and gas. Okay, now what automatic means is that it's going to go with electric. It's always going to choose the electric side to cool down the refrigerator. If you lose power, it's automatically going to switch to gas. So that's your automatic setting. If you want to run on just gas, this button here would be in the out position. You just hold it, you let it come out. Same thing. Remember how your furnace heater, your water heater is going to try to light 3 times. If it doesn't, it will let you know. That's going to be this check light here. If it tries to light 3 times and it fails, this check light will come on. Then you just turn it off and turn it back on, and it's going to give you 3 more tries to light. Now this model here is probably going to take about 8 to 10 hours to cool down. So if you're going to go camping or whatever you're doing, make sure you come and turn it on the day before and let it start that cooling process before you get started. Okay. Your furnace or your cooktop is here. Pretty simple. You have light, and then you also have a high and low setting, so you can always just kind of tone them down a little bit. Okay. So right there we can kind of turn it down a little bit. So there's that. Important thing you need to know here, make sure that these knobs are on off at all times, as long as you're not using it. If they're open just a little bit, you've created a gas leak, one little spark and you'll get that woof. So just kind of make sure they stay off. Down here, everybody knows how to use a microwave. Also, one pretty cool thing you have here is this road vac. So you can put a hose in here and then kind of vacuum the whole unit, right? You can turn that on here. Okay, so this is if you're wanting to use the hose. Now your bag is back here, and this is reusable. Don't get it wet, just kind of knock it out, shove it back in there, and make sure it's attached here, and then it should be ready to use. I think I'm doing something wrong. There you go. So there's that. Another cool thing they've offered in this package is you can sweep up your floors and just get the pile right here in front, lift this up. You're just going to lift this up and then push everything inside. Same thing, it goes through a hose straight into this bag over here. So it's all one bag and it's reusable. I think that's it, unless we want to talk about the bathroom real quick. Okay. So, let's see here. So when it comes to your toilet, this is your little foot pedal down here in the middle. You just hold it a quarter of the way. So I don't have any water, I don't think. So you hold it just a quarter of the way. You start to fill the bowl. Okay. Let it fill, right? You do your business. All the way down is how you flush it. Okay, if you just did the dirty, the number 2, you're just going to go ahead and fill it up with some more water. That's going to create a seal between you and the tank, so you're not smelling the tank the whole time you camp. So the more water, the more seal, so you're not smelling it. Now on this back side here, I'll take it. Okay, so on this back side here, you have your heated hold tank system. This is just a low amperage heating pad on your tank so that they don't freeze over in sub freezing conditions. Over here is your light for the light for the bathroom, so that's over here. Now over here where it says water heater, this is where you would turn on the propane for the water heater, right? You just turn it on here. Now this fault light that you see come on is if it tries to light 3 times and it fails, this is going to stay on. As soon as the water heater lights, this will go away, letting you know that you have ignition. Now if it stays on, like right there, it turned off, so you have ignition. It's fired up, it's rocking right now. If it stays on, you would just turn it off, turn it on, and then you would get the 3 more tries. Over here you have your water pump switch. This is, I was telling you earlier how you could fill a tank and use a water pump to bring all the water to the faucets. This is it here. So on off, pretty simple. Another thing you need to know too, you have all these tanks. So you have a freshwater tank, right? So you got a freshwater tank, black. Remember, the black is the toilet or the crapper. And then you have gray, which essentially is all of your sinks and showers. That's going to be your gray water. Before you leave, you can check and see how much fresh water you got. So right now we have full. This is what it's going to look like when it's full. Over here it says empty, 1/3, 2/3 are full. So this is going to, these red light indicators are going to tell you how full your tanks are. So fresh, black is full right now, and gray is full. Now as soon as you empty these will all fall to empty. So you'll have a light just right here. Other than that, consistently through the whole coach, hot is on the left, cold is on the right. Another thing you need to know too, that all these fittings underneath here, right? You have all these fittings. They're just compression fittings, so you just need to tighten them hand tight. Now they will kind of vibrate loose as you kind of travel around in those things. You just need to come in here every once in a while and just hand tighten them. You don't need to get a vice grips or anything. You're going to create a leak. So you have them here. You have them under the shower. You can get into the access here to get to this pipe over here. You also have them over here underneath your kitchen sink. So this is your kitchen sink. Right underneath is all those fittings. Just tighten those up. And then this is your bed area. This has already been fixed. And then you just have, like, your regular reading lights and stuff. You have one on each side. And then you hit this switch here and you have all your lights up inside the cabinets. Other than that, that's your camper. If you have any problems, give us a call, and I'll hop on the phone within 10 minutes and walk you through it.